This video is probably not going to make me many friends. So what we're going to talk about today are the biggest mistakes that I see real estate agents doing on Instagram. And to be honest, it's not going to be hard choosing from a couple of them because some of y'all have not figured it out. Hit the like button if you want a little figure it out juice sent your way with Instagram, because I get it. It's really, really hard. It can feel kind of clunky and it can feel difficult to put yourself out there on a social media platform if you haven't already been doing this for a while. It can also feel hard to keep it up if you've been doing it for so long that you're just kind of over it. So I get it. The good news is over time, I have seen so many more real estate agents. A lot of the industry is like getting on Instagram. They understand that there's a lot of power there that they can harness for free for their real estate business. And if that's you, then congrats, kudos, that's awesome. But I still think that, especially as trends change, especially as Instagram changes, I think that there's always ways that we can improve upon our own performance on the app and remember what we're really there to do in the first place, which is developing relationships that lead to business. And, obviously like serving the public and stuff. That's a really important part of that too. Now, I'm not gonna harp too hard on anything crazy. This is gonna be a pretty casual video. I think that the first thing that I wanna share when it comes to Instagram is a big mistake that I think many people are making are assuming that to be successful on Instagram, it's all or nothing. You have to be posting multiple times a day, every single day for weeks on end before it really turns into anything. I think that at one point this advice probably helped people, but if we're, again, thinking about what it is we're trying to do on Instagram, which should be cultivating relationships with our database, people we already know, like, and trust, and using Instagram to grow our audience to bring more of those people in, not just for followers, but to actually connect with more individual people, then posting every single day is not going to be like the one thing that's going to make or break you. Now, if you love posting reels and posting carousel posts and putting up pictures on Instagram, and that feels really fun and refreshing and exciting to you, then by all means, go for it. But I don't think that you should let it hold you back from being successful on Instagram because you feel like if you're not posting 5 days a week, then it's not worthwhile to try at all. I think that that is not the case. So gone are the days that you have to be posting every single day to see traction, but the key here is you do have to post consistently. So like don't post 5 days in 1 week and then take a month off. I challenge you to choose to post 1 to 3 times a week, but like choose whether or not you're posting 1, 2, or 3 times a week, and then keep that cadence for a really long time, like for a couple of months before you really judge whether or not it's working for you. Okay, the idea is we really want to focus on consistency in 2023, not just volume of posts. Now, the next really big mistake that I see is not repurposing content on Instagram. And not even specifically on Instagram, but in social media in general. So in the Market Authority Academy, one concept that we talk about is 10xing your content and really understanding how to take one piece of content and then repurposing it up to 10 times minimum across all of your different marketing channels on and off social media to really get the most out of all of the pieces of content that you're creating. Because let's just be honest, creating any kind of original content takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of energy, especially when you're not naturally like a digital marketer or a content creator. You probably didn't get into the business to be hanging out on social media all day and like creating content. That's not really what you're here for. It's just kind of one of the things that you gotta do for now, right? And so if you are going to take the time to create a piece of content, then I challenge you to think about all the many different ways that you can repurpose that content. So one thing that I love to do on Instagram is to remember to take certain pieces of content that I post and actually send them to either clients or prospects who I'm trying to convert. For example, if you're holding an open house and somebody is talking about how they're really exploring the neighborhood and trying to figure out if it's right for them, why can't you look at a piece of content that you've created on your Instagram? For example, that might be a topic like the best places to eat in Central Phoenix, and send them that post, offer to send them that post on Instagram. Like, what an easy and natural way to kind of take that conversation a little bit further, have a method to stay in touch, even if they're ultimately not ready to hire a real estate agent right now. Like, it's a tiny little action that just gets you a little bit closer to the closing table when you're doing stuff like that. Another example where I can share how this has worked out really well for me is on my YouTube channel. So on YouTube, I've got 2 channels, and one of them is for my real estate team. I used to have all of my YouTube videos for my real estate stuff on this channel, and then it was just kind of a mess, and I just decided to make another channel. It was the whole thing. Anyways, my real estate channel I have not posted to in quite a while because I was really big and pregnant last year and I didn't feel like going to 2 batch filming sessions per month. But I still had this awesome library of videos that we have accumulated over posting for a couple of months there. And those are great resources that I can still share with clients anytime. And so we looked at those and thought, well, how can we use those to bake into the conversion process? And so we're able to use those when we are following up with new prospects who, again, maybe aren't ready to like look at houses right now or list their house right now, but they're on that path and they need some valuable information. Why not share information that I've already created and curated on my own channel? This is how you create yourself as the authority in your area. So again, look at the kinds of content that you've posted and see what has been saved the most or shared the most. You have access to these insights, just go find them. And if you can't, look it up on YouTube. Resourcefulness, go find it. And from there, you can kind of either decide to repurpose that content because people really liked it, or you can decide to even make more of it because that's what worked. I think repurposing content is always going to be more beneficial and give you more longevity than just creating new content. We want to get off of that content treadmill in 2023. Finally, the last big mistake that I keep seeing on Instagram is not engaging. And I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times, if not from me, from others who like to think they know what they're talking about, me included. Again, these are all just opinions of mine. But when we're talking about engagement on Instagram, I really think it's the most powerful thing that you're doing. So again, I'm not posting every single day on Instagram, but what am I doing on Instagram every single day? I'm engaging. I'm responding to direct messages. I am leaving comments on posts and stories that people in my database have put up, right? Like I am reaching out to somebody over text if I see that one of my clients posted about having just a really crappy day or if they had a leak in their home. Like I'm gonna use that as an opportunity to create more connection. Don't overlook the fact that these platforms, aside from becoming advertising giants for revenue, were ultimately created to foster connection and relationships. And that's where it always needs to come back to. So think about ways that you can use this as engagement tools with your database or with meeting new people. I even just recently posted a video on this channel about my attraction-based business prospecting routine, and a core part of my prospecting routine is straight up just engaging. That's also why I built out an entire part in the Market Authority Planner to talk about prospecting and engaging on social media. Like this needs to just be a part of it. So even if you don't want to post on any given day, that's totally fine. At least take a few minutes to engage. See if you can spark a conversation that will lead to setting an appointment that will lead to a closing. So that's what I've got for you today. Those are the big mistakes that I'm seeing and the things that we are going to leave in the past. We are going to stop prioritizing volume of posting over consistency. Just be consistent. Number 2, we're going to focus on repurposing content as often and in as many different ways as possible. And number 3, we are going to engage. And I will die on that hill. Every time we are going to engage and look for ways to foster more meaningful connections and relationships using these powerful platforms. That's what I've got for you today. Let me know in the comments if any of this was like earth-shattering for you or if you have any questions about what I shared with you today. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time, keep on crushing it.